Spurred by the popularity and success of Sonic the Hedgehog, the mascot craze of the 90s is one that is still widely talked about in the retrosphere to this day, thanks to the many clones it inadvertently conjured.
What could possibly go wrong?
No.
And while most are better left forgotten, for good reason,
I'm awesome!
there are in fact a few that have stood the test of time and deserve a seat in the spotlight, like Rocket Knight Adventures or Socket. And while most of these clones made their way stateside, one quietly snuck its way onto the Super Famicom in late 1994 thanks to the efforts of Toho, called Pokonyan Henpokorin Adventure. But does it hold up in the wake of 90 Sonic clones, or is there a reason it never left Japan? Let's find out. Based on the anime series, Pokonyan, our shape-shifting Tanuki hero of the same name finds himself dashing and jumping his way across many locales as he tracks down these 7 evil foxes that have made off with all of Mickey's delicious snacks. To fend off his less than threatening foes, seriously, I'm out here murdering bunnies?
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
You have a simple head stomp and a jump kick, which is automatically pulled off with enough speed and height. Other than that, you have the ability to transform into a kangaroo by holding down the R button, with the only noticeable difference being the height of your jump. With jumps in mind, you also have a double jump, which comes in handy when trying to reach higher platforms that may contain goodies, provide you with an alternate path through the stage, or for gaining some extra distance to avoid an oncoming enemy. Speaking of avoiding enemies, it's a bit tougher than one might expect, thanks to the astonishingly slippery controls. I'm not sure how well it translates from the footage, but the controls conceal a tragic amount of momentum and inertia that makes simple platforming a chore. You'll notice that Pokonyan shortly moves at a low speed that very quickly picks up into a full-on blue blur-sized dash. It's within that animation cycle that will determine your jump distance, which in turn makes nailing your target a wonky task. On top of that, you have to fight the momentum, which can be hard to stop and can bounce you back and forth across the stage. Because of this, I found myself constantly taking my thumb off the D-pad to keep myself at a manageable pace. Thankfully, the saving grace for the manic controls is not only the double jump, but the fact that no matter how many hits you take, you won't die. You can become temporarily stunned, but losing a life is not something you'll have to worry about on this adventure, especially since the levels are completely devoid of any pits of death. In short, with the touchy controls, Sonic, this game is not. However, the real show stealer are the graphics. The garish color palette that lines every stage pops with flashy exuberance. Whether you're exploring the undulant grass-flushed hills, speeding along the beams of the carnival's roller coaster, or soaring from column to column in the fluffy wonderland above the clouds, each stage makes way for some captivating pastel eye candy. As one can imagine, the stage design is built in service of the brisk playstyle, with lots of straightaways and rolling hills. So what you'll traverse is never too complicated, as most levels consist of an upper path and a lower path. But Pokonyan does maintain a good variety by having you expedition through the Arctic, take an aquatic dip in the sea,
Bloopa, what are you doing there?
and even explore a pirate ship. Say, this looks kind of familiar. Besides just making it from one end of the screen to the other, there are a number of bonuses strewn throughout, like the ever-present fruits for extra points and the coveted hidden stars, of which there is one for each level, so you better look both high and low to find them all. Besides the flashy graphics, our hero is just downright adorable. Yeah, you ride that Ferris wheel, little buddy. Seriously, the game is absolutely brimming with character and charm, as just about everything Pokonyan does sports a good amount of liveliness that puts a big goofy smile on my face, as it captures a certain undeniable cartoonish whimsy. So, does Pokonyan Henpokorin Adventure stand its ground amongst the pantheon of 90 Sonic clones? Well, with its charming lead, catchy and playful music, and cheerfully brazen graphics, it comes so close. But the problematic slick as ice controls and crushingly short length keep it from truly shining as a forgotten classic. Not to mention the absolutely ridiculous price tag stands as an extra deterrent. As to why this clumsy kids game commands so much, I believe it's due to the show's massive popularity at the time. Regardless, $200+ for even a loose cart is far too much for what is a mediocre platformer at best. But if you've got an extra 30 minutes to burn and have a hankering for a cutesy and charming platformer, consider giving Pokonyan a shot. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, consider checking out these other videos right here, or even subscribing. Also, if you'd like to throw me a couple of bucks, you can support the show on Patreon.